love to do kit and classes. We know that you're all very busy, so we connect for a little education, show you something you can do. And in this case, swap to detox, because we're not asking you to stop using something. We're asking you keep using that product, but swap it to, one that enhances wellness, is organic, is natural. And then we tell you the why. And then even cooler, we mail it to your house so you can try it out. So we're going to go to the next slide. This will be our agenda that we follow. We are going to follow little introductions that we did. We're going to swap out, we're going to explain what a swap is and why we're doing it. Then we're going to take a hard look at personal care products. And then we're going to look at household products that you can swap. And then we're going to take a look like, how do you apply this? So we're going to peek into the life of our former treasurer, and she lives in a totally detox way of living. So we are like, hey, can we use you as an example? Because you're like the ninja at this. And she said, sure. So we'll look at like her schedule, if you will. That might be helpful, because sometimes you can get new information and you go, I don't know what to do with that. How does that look in my life? Then we'll turn it over to Katie, our oil lady, and we're going to go over how to make a product. So she'll go over that. Then we'll come back to the slideshow for any questions and answers, do a little summary, and then have a closing. So during that time, we'd love to hear, if you have some questions, please share your name, your service, that kind of thing, because all of that is just really super cool for us to hear. So next slide, we're going to take a look at what we're doing here. So as women veterans and women first responders, we are no strangers to exposure, right? Some of us were around the burn pit. Some of us were on tactical exercises. Some of us might work around petroleum, oil, lubricants, things like that. Some of the products that you use now have hidden chemicals in it that are totally linked to hormone disruption and possibly cancer and other health concerns. Environmental estrogens are one of those. So anything that gives off this chemically smell, like you walk down the grocery aisle, the detergent aisle, and you smell all that stuff, almost all of those are hormone disruptors, unless they're a truly natural, like an essential oil, like a botanical derivative. So that's important to know, because usually we don't find out about those things until there's a disease, a diagnosis, or some kind of disaster. And then we're going to explore some simple swaps. Next slide. So why do we swap? There are many, many reasons. Some can be environmental, some can be economics, but we're kind of focused on well-being here. So the first one is that we want to remove toxins from our bodies and personal spaces. And how do we do that? Just kind of like spring cleaning. So we're going to admit swapping might seem a little mundane, but if you're already using it as a personal product and probably using it with some degree of consistency, like daily, or I know people who put on mascara 2 or 3 times, or lip gloss 5 times a day, or deodorant once a day, or toothpaste twice a day. So if you can swap out those things, it might seem like a little mundane change, but you can start removing toxins. It's imperative to our balance. We can get an overload. When we have an overload of toxins, that's when we can get like bacteria buildup. We can get irritation. We can get like some outbreaks, hives, bumps, redness in our skin, basically inflammation. And then some toxins can be removed by sweat. It's like we always feel good, right? After, or most of us feel really good after a really good run or a workout or a yoga sesh or something like that. But other toxins are removed by staying hydrated. So if we drink enough fluids, we can flush some of that out. And then, of course, bowel movements. That's the big tractor movement, get everything out of the system. But as we say in a lot of our humble warrior retreats, how you sleep and how you poop is a little window to your health. So some of those might be tied to keeping toxins inside. So we want to swap out. The other one is to build, maintain, and repair. And of course, we're non-clinicians, so we want to stay in our scope of practice. But toxins can be harmful to the mitochondria. And those are the little things that give us energy. Think of it as the fuel your body needs. So I like looking at rules of thumb, or the gist. The gist is when our cells have dysfunction, that can lead to organ dysfunction. And when our organs have dysfunction, we can't function. There's a dysfunction function. So we want to make sure that we're always building and maintaining and repairing. And we can't do that if we have a lot of toxins in our body. So how does that look in layman's terms? Think of a dirty sponge that is full. It stops sopping up. It stops being a sponge. It can't function, right? But if we can wring it out, that's removing the toxins, and then put it in clean water so it can absorb clean water or soap or something like that. Now we're like building, maintaining, and repairing. So I think that's kind of an easy visual to get your head around. Okay. So that's why we're swapping. And again, there's environmental concerns and everything, but we're focused on you tonight. Next. Personal care items. I want to go into some of these. Makeup. Some people wear it, some people don't. Some people only wear it when they get all dressed up for date night or something like that. But many conventional cosmetics contain chemicals like parabens and phthalates. So when we look on the label, we can all be a label reader. We might not recognize everything, but if we see those two words, paraben and phthalates, we know that these can be hormone disruptors. And there's evidence-based research out there that it shows it can impact your health. So we want to look for makeup that's the swap, mineral-based or organic. Maybe a little show of hands. Anyone using mineral-based or organic already? Yeah, you might not notice, you might notice. The next one is fragrances. This one is near and dear to my heart. Many of you know I'm an advanced stage cancer survivor, and I was told immediately to eliminate environmental estrogen. So the first thing I did was Google it and research what it is, because I never even heard of that word before. Basically, it's anything that gets off a fragrance, a smell, something like that. And I was like, whoa. I have dryer sheets, I have perfume, I have hairspray, pretty much everything. So I started swapping in the fragrance area first. So with fragrances, the term fragrance is a loophole. There's hundreds or possibly hundreds of undisclosed chemicals in the word fragrance. Some of these can be linked to allergies, hormone disruption, and even cancer. And the FDA doesn't require companies to disclose a lot of those ingredients. So sometimes you can have a little reaction to something and you look at the label and you just can't figure it out because it doesn't have to be disclosed. So what do we want to do with fragrances? You want to switch or swap out for a fragrance free. Like let's say it's your favorite product and you just can't stop using it. Look for the fragrant free option. And then another one is you want to look for essential oil base, but Katie will get into that more. We want to make sure it's at the highest end, the therapeutic blend, not some toxic, bottled, very low end oil. Another one is dry shampoos. I got exposed to that on a deployment. Actually, I was like, what is that? Looks like baby powder. Very easy to use, too much. So dry shampoo definitely has some chemicals in it. And the big swap here is cornstarch. That's more for like lighter colored hair, so gray hair, blonde hair, light brown. And then cocoa powder. That one really kind of blew me away. I didn't know that for darker colored hair. But the key word there is, again, we got to get back to maybe we don't recognize everything on the label, but we can look for the word we don't want in, and that's benzene free. We want benzene free products in the dry shampoo. Another one, and Humbleware did a big kit in class on this, was conventional sunscreen. One of our former board members had skin cancer like 15 times because as a child she had significant sunburns, and now she's paying the price as an adult. So with sunscreen, the big thing here is we want to look for mineral-based zinc oxide or titanium dioxide as the active ingredient. And you really need to look on the labels for your sunscreen. Out of all the labels, we really want to focus on the active ingredient because some of them may have gotten smart to it, so they'll put a little bit in, but it's not the active one. Those might be like inert or something, or additional or added. So with our sunscreen, mineral-based zinc oxide, and zinc oxide's a little bit hard to rub in. It's kind of white. I like to use that like all over the body. And then the mineral-based ones, I use like every day on my face. So that's kind of nice. I want to hit on some other ones. Let me see. Uh, Menstrual products. Okay. Sure wish I would have known about this when I was younger, but swapping organic cotton tampons and pads is very important. Even if it's cotton, but it's not organic, they've been paid. A lot of them have been sprayed for pesticides and different things like that. So we want to avoid that. And a better option would be to use reusable menstrual cups. The Diva cup I researched was a pretty popular one, had high reviews for form fitting and low leaks. And then also period panties, so washable panties. And even though I'm postmenopausal, I'm going to go ahead and say this, and I know we're recording it, so I'll probably embarrass myself later on, but I wear the period panties still to this day when I travel because I never know, like, oh my gosh, am I going to be stuck somewhere? Am I going to have a little accident? Am I going to laugh too hard? Am I going to do something? But it just makes me feel secure. And then in the research, a lot of people coupled the menstrual cup with period panties just in case they had a very heavy flow or they didn't think they'd be able to change or empty it. So, personal care products, these are things that go on your body, in your body. We just want to swap them out. We're going to take a deeper look at some more things. We can always circle back and take some questions. So, next slide. Household. So these are things that affect us, affect our family. A lot of times, I know in my family, I'm the head chef, the cook, so I'm making things. But we want to start out with plastic food containers. So we know plastic food containers can leach. We want to be very careful about never microwaving our food because they can leach into them. Even direct and indirect sunlight can warm up the plastic warm enough that it can start leaching into like water bottles, things like that. So one, and then also your dishwasher. I don't know if you've ever had a plastic thing and you put it in a dishwasher, you see what heat does to it. It just kind of morphs it and warps it. So we really want to start migrating away from plastic food containers, swapping them for glass or stainless steel because they don't leach. They'll just hold your contents. Yes, they're heavier. I know that's a negative. Air fresheners. So air fresheners, many plugins and sprays again contain the phthalates, which can interfere with hormones. So we're seeing that again. Those, and it's a PHTHALATES. We're seeing them in anything smelly. So we're seeing them in perfumes. We're seeing them in air fresheners, things like that. So basically, what can we do instead of using these highly toxic air fresheners? Open a window, get some cross ventilation going. That is definitely the healthiest. And then we can also use essential oil diffusers. We can set them up in multiple rooms. We can have a larger one in a bigger room, a small one, maybe in your bedroom, things like that. Nonstick cookware, more and more information is coming out that scratched, I want to highlight that scratched nonstick pans can relieve harmful chemicals. So I'm not saying if you have the nonstick ones, you have to throw them out or anything, but watch for them. Once they get scratched, how do they get scratched? They get scratched from using a spatula, from flipping things, from a fork. They get scratched if you throw them in your dishwasher. Maybe consider, if you do have them, to hand wash them. But they can release harmful chemicals that can affect specifically kidney and thyroid health. So what can you do? Swap it for a good old-fashioned cast iron stainless steel or the ceramic cookware. But again, we want to just make sure, I want to emphasize that once it gets scratches, it's gonna start leaching. You're gonna start it's compromised. We'll say that. And it's compromised. Moving on to candles. Who doesn't love a good, beautiful scented candles? We get them, we gift them, we love them. All right. So basically, it comes down to, again, synthetic candles. They emit a chemical called benzene, and also a lot of them have formaldehyde in them, which we know is linked under the American Cancer Society, the cancer causing or cancer, it's linked to cancer, to reduce the indoor air quality. So if you're not going to get rid of them, we sure don't want to use them indoors, maybe take them to the outdoor. But if you do enjoy a candle inside safely, I know at least there's one firefighter here for sure, use it safely, but try and have it be beeswax or soy-based candles. And if you like them smelly, you can add or buy them with essential oils in them, or you can use essential oil diffuser and do away with the flame and the risk of a fire and just use a diffuser. Then the other big one is processed meats. So processed meats, the World Health Organization classifies processed meats like bacon and deli slices and hot dogs as a group number 1 carcinogen due to strong evidence linking them to colon cancer. So what do we want to do to that? Because that's definitely a swappable item. We want to opt it for maybe like fresh or organic or something like that. But better yet, plant-based proteins. Go for your plant-based proteins like hemp, chia, flax, things like that. And then many of you have gotten some of these laundry detergent sheets from us. If you went on the gratitude hike, we had Earth Breeze as a sponsor. That was wonderful. But laundry detergents and fabric softeners. Many conventional detergents and softeners contain, again, synthetic fragrances and chemicals that can cause skin irritation, respiratory issues, and environmental harm. So a very easy swap would be to use fragrance-free, if it happens to be your favorite kind, or plant-based laundry sheets instead of liquid or powdered detergents. You can also replace um, dryer sheets with wool balls. So I like to use 3 wool balls. I take my favorite essential oil, usually peppermint, eucalyptus, or wild orange. Those are my go-to ones. And I put the oils, about 3 drops of oil on the balls, and I throw them in and they smell lovely. I like my sheets to smell like that, but um, think about it. This is the biggest one. If I ask you to change out one, I'm asking you to do number 6, laundry sheets and fabric softeners. Why? Well, look down. I'm guessing you're dressed right now. We are 100% always in something that's been laundered. And somebody's like, no, I sleep naked. Well, guess what? You're sleeping on bed sheets, and those bed sheets have been laundered. So we are constantly surrounded by this. So if you want an impactful swap, sometimes you're like, well, I'm not up for swapping everything, but I'll swap out, the perfume and the laundry because I use it every day and it's right on my body. And whatever you put on your body, 26 seconds later, it starts absorbing into it, right? Okay. So next slide. Getting exciting. So this is how Stacy lives. Like, what does she do? She makes sure she gets 8 hours of sleep, and she swapped out her laundry and dryer sheets. She doesn't even use them. She uses wool balls as well. She likes to drink alkaline water because water flushes out toxins and it aids bowel movements. Active walking and gentle stretching. She tries to do some of that every single day. Get sunshine. The minimum amount is 20 minutes a day without sunscreen. Then be sure to put your sunscreen on. But you get more vitamin D from 20 minutes of sunshine than any other food source, even plant-based. Eat whole grain foods. She uses the Dirty Dozen list. You can Google that. It tells you like what to buy organic. She eats a lot of grains in this order: buckwheat, basmati rice, quinoa, and amaranth. She avoids processed foods, no sugar and no soda. She drinks a lot of tea. She has a wide variety of tea, from caffeine tea in the morning to decaf in the evening. Breathing exercises. She was a big participant in our breathing exercises. So breathe in and let go. We have a YouTube channel with a lot of breathing exercises, and breathing can like reset your nervous system, which again helps your whole body function. So that's part of the reset, the maintain, that kind of thing. Natural toothpaste. She uses natural toothpaste, some without fluoride. Fluoride can be a little contentious on what it is. We don't want to swallow fluoride. So, brushing your teeth with it. I opt for a non-fluoride one, but I have the city water. So there's fluoride in my water. So I'm rinsing it, getting some benefits. She uses natural hair products. She uses stainless steel cookware and all of her skin products are organic. She takes some vitamins and supplements as needed and discussed with her doctor. So that's kind of how it looks when you put it together and swap out and add things. Next slide. All right, so we're going to kick it off to Katie, and she's going to talk about essential oils. I want to hit on the fact high quality, therapeutic quality, no undisclosed synthetic chemicals. It's an alternative to other fragrances, smells, things that have those phthalates and things in. We're going to go over the kit in class, and you'll be mailed a little rollerball bottle and oils, and she's going to get into all of that. Take it away, Katie, and she has an exciting way to kick it off.
Anyway, all right, so are y'all ready for this nice little perfume thing we're going to do? All right, so this is super simple. Now, okay, if you're unaware of essential oils, there is no regulating party or anything saying what oil is pure, what oil is unpure, or what oil has formaldehyde or does not, right? So it's really important when you choose your essential oil, because I don't know how many times, if you heard her say essential oils a million times or not, but I did. I mean, it may be like that. You get a new car and then you see your new car everywhere kind of thing. But she said essential oils, and you can replace a lot of things with them. Okay. So we want to look for what is pure. All right. What is tested, but also what company is transparent, right? We want to be able to see their testing, and we want to be able to see where they got their plants that they process for their oils. Okay. So this is really vital, right? Because you're not getting your oils at Walmart. Don't do it. You're not going to get them at TJ Maxx. Don't do it. Guarantee you their testing is not sitting on the TJ Maxx shelf showing you where they get their stuff. Okay. So just a super quick note. Okay. Now, you guys had an option of 3 oils, and we made them blends, so it'd be super simple. We had Shinrin Yoku, which is like forest bathing. Okay, so Shinrin Yoku, which is like super yummy. It's our forest bathing blend. And then we have Serenity, which is the base is lavender, and it's great for calming. But it's a really good one. And then we also had Citrus Bloom, which is citrusy and like more citrusy than floral, but it's like delicious and alive. And it's honestly my favorite. Like I have it diffusing in my bathroom constantly. So what you'll get in your little kit, you're going to get a bottle of oil. It will not be this big. It'll be a little teeny guy. So cute. And you're going to get a roller ball. And if you're buying your own rollers in the future, you can get them however you like them, right? This one's super cute, right? It's square and kind of glamorous. I like it. Or you can get them kind of like plain, and you can put stickers on them, label them however you want, right? So you just get whatever you want. These are all 10 milliliters. The ones you get will be 10 milliliters, okay? My rule of thumb, if I'm making a roller, then however many milliliters, I'm going to double it in drops, okay? So this is 10 milliliters, so we're going to put 20 drops of essential oils. Now, if you want it to be smellier and you don't have sensitive skin, add more. If you have sensitive skin, keep it with 20 drops, okay? Or if you have red hair, Miss Amanda, let's keep it 20 drops, okay? So we want to dilute it, all right? So you're just going to have like the little roller ball in the cap. And what you're going to do is you're going to just take a butter knife, okay? And you're going to go right under, do you see the plastic here? Yeah, we're going to go right under that. And we're just going to pop the roller ball out. And it'll come, it'll come right out, I promise. Okay, it'll come right out, all right? We're gonna set it aside. You're gonna put your 20 drops of essential oils.
This is so exciting to watch.
No, it's gonna be really easy for you guys because you're gonna get 20 drops. All you have to do is dump it. And then you're gonna get a thing of fractionated coconut oil. Okay, also not this big, but one that's perfect for you. And you're gonna top it off with just enough room to shake it. Okay. You're going to pop your little ball back in, shake it up, and you have a perfume, okay? And you put it in all your little sweet spots, behind your ears, in your cleavage, on your wrist, everywhere, okay? And listen, it's awesome, like to be able to make something for yourself that you enjoy wearing, okay? Now we're giving you blends, but in the future, if you're making a perfume, like a good something to know, if you are familiar with music, are you think of like a chord, right? Like a chord has a nice broad like full sound, okay? So if we're making a perfume, we want a bass note, a middle note, and a high note, okay? So high notes are like mint and citrus, okay? The middle notes are florals. The base notes are like woody, roots, stuff like that, okay? So if you want a nice full perfume, you want to contain all of those things, all right? So with the blends, we made it super easy. You just dump it. You got it all already, okay? But anyway, I am really, really excited about you getting these kits, and I can't wait to hear how you like them, okay? But the last thing is, doTERRA, we partner with, Humble Warrior, we partner with doTERRA. That's the essential oils that we use. Actually, all of the oil that you're getting in your kits, we got for free because we have a link. And if you use our link, then Humble Warrior gets 20% in cash to spend on oils. So, we got all of our hike oils and all of these oils for free. Okay. It's been very good for us. We will make sure you get that link. You'll get a QR code in your kit box, but there's also the link on our Humble Warrior website. Okay. Awesome. Does anybody have any questions?
Well, thank you very much, Katie. I want to share the Shinrin Roku. Did I say that right? Help me.
Almost. Shinrin. Oh, wait. Shinrin Yoku.
So Katie had Mary Beth and I be guinea pigs for this class, and we loved it. We wanted to make our own perfume, and we got to smell so many, and it just turned into a bunch of giggles and fun. And some of them are blends, like the low, medium, and high, the chord. I love that, how Katie explains it. I just use that simple oil, and I add the fractionated coconut just so that I don't it's not too strong on my skin. And I love it. And the funny thing is, I can't tell you how many times people are like, "What kind of perfume is that?" And I'm like, "Forest bathing. It's out," and they laugh, but it is a really good smell. So find the one that works for you. Have fun doing it. Gabriel, if you can bring up the slideshow, we'll bring up our final slide. So I want to share that, by making, yeah, next slide. By making just some simple mindful swaps, we can protect ourselves, our family, and the environment of unnecessary toxins. And there is power in purchasing. So if you stop buying something that's toxic and start buying something else, you're basically saying no to them. And maybe they'll take some corporate social responsibility or not, but you and your family can be protected. So small changes add up, and knowledge is power. So we want you to commit to swapping. I would love to hear maybe from a few of you, like what you're willing to swap. Commit to detoxing, enhancing your well-being. Enjoy your kit when it comes. And if you are so inclined to go on social media and say, "Look what Humble Warrior sent me," and like whether you like it or just what your experience was, like that's cool, but only if you're comfortable doing that. If you have any questions, obviously reach out to Katie. And then I just want to thank you for connecting with us, and I want you to get swapping. So let's